I'm gonna try to move this bag out of the way. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, please do hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you're notified of every time that I post on Mondays and Thursdays. So recently I've been obsessed with TikTok and spending too much time on it, but I've come across a lot of like makeup ones that talk about hacks or dupes or their favorite products that are pretty cheap. So I did go to Ulta and I bought a lot of makeup specifically for this video. It's just kind of TikToks that I've seen where people have said, you know, get this as a dupe or get this because it's cheap, get this because it's my favorite. So I've just kind of like went through a couple of those videos and tried to pick out enough makeup to do a whole face. I think the only thing I didn't have was an eyeshadow palette and also a highlighter. So I have pretty much everything else. They all vary in brands, but we'll see how they all turn out and how this face looks at the end. So I do want to start off by saying that I spent so much money at Ulta that I was getting like, you know, free gifts or whatever. And they put this in there, which says Anastasia at the bottom. I was so excited. I was like, I got an Anastasia product for free. So then I went to look at it and it says empty eyeshadow palette. And I was like, that's not what I think it is it? And yep, it's an empty eyeshadow palette. So now I have to spend more money to put eyeshadows in my empty eyeshadow palette. But anyway, the first thing we want to start off with is primer. And I see this all over the place. It's this e.l.f. Poreless primer, or Poreless Putty primer, sorry. And you're supposed to put it all over your face. It's supposed to really like blur your pores. I've used this before and I haven't really like noticed too big of a difference, but I mean, it does work as a good primer. It's not too sticky, but then again, I may not be putting like enough product on. I don't know. We'll see how well this kind of blurs my pores. It does feel pretty smooth. It's kind of like a cooler feel to it. It is a good primer, especially for like the price, which is, I don't know, I think it was like $6 or something. It's really cheap. All right, now that I have primer applied, I'm going to go in with this L'Oreal Infallible foundation. It's like the big thing I've seen on like the makeup TikToks. Yeah, so all it says is just breathable, buildable coverage, and it does have 25 SPF sunscreen in it, so that's nice. I got it in the shade 410. I'm guessing it's gonna be a bit too dark, but we're gonna try it out anyway. I do have a beauty blender. Wow, I have a beauty blender here. Ooh, that's a lot more watery than I expected it to be. It's a very watery consistency. Maybe I just didn't shake it up well enough. I don't really know, but we're gonna go ahead and apply it. Yeah, so it's a little dark for my skin tone. I'll just blend it down. It has a nice like fresh scent to it. Very clean smelling. Maybe a little bit like makeup, but not like too much. It's more of, I don't know, a nice fresh scent. Okay, now that it's fully applied, I think, I mean, it has a nice finish to it, but it's not quite as full coverage as I thought. I mean, obviously it's buildable, so I could put another layer on, but I don't really want to go full coverage today. I mean, I think it's really nice. It's just a little, this shade was just a little too dark, I think. Not very dark, but a little too dark, like more orange than I would like. Seems very similar to the Milani Conceal and Perfect or something like that. So that one's really my go-to, and they're pretty similar, so I'd still probably go back to the Milani one. But it does sit pretty well, and we'll see how long it lasts. It does kind of feel like it lays on like the texture of my skin and just kind of, I don't know, sits there and kind of cakey in a way. But it's definitely something I would see myself using like in the summer when I'm a little bit darker. So it's not a bad product. All right, next I'm going to go in with this e.l.f. 16-hour Camo Concealer. This is in the shade Fair Beige. Again, I have used this, but this is supposed to be like a dupe for the Tarte concealer, Shape Tape concealer. So this one is really just like full coverage again. I got this before they came out with their newer formula, which is like the hydrating dewy one, which I would typically go for because I do have dry skin. So this one I do feel like does dry out my skin a lot, but I mean, they did come out with a different formula, so I just still have to try that one. This one's definitely a really good full coverage formula. And I'll just put it like right under the eyes just to brighten up that area. And then I'll sweep it up over the eyelid as kind of a primer. I don't usually use setting powder just because, again, that like dries out my skin. But I could see you wanting to use it because it does crease under the eye. I do like the way that this concealer works though. So the next product I have is the eyebrow pencil, and this is from NYX. It's the Micro Brow Pencil. Smudge resistant, blendable, precise, and it does have two sides to it, so it does have the little spoolie end, which feels kind of stiff, but we'll see how that works. And then the other end, it's just this tiny little crayon. I don't know how well you can see it, but we'll see how this one works. And I did get it in the shade Auburn, just hoping that that would match my hair color. I do typically find it pretty difficult to figure out what shade to get. Okay, so I feel like this one is a bit too orange. I think it does match like my hair color a little bit better than my natural eyebrows do. I think my natural eyebrows are more of like a blonde color. So it does, I don't know how well you can see it, but like it's pretty evident that like this is where my hair gets really thin and then this is where it's thick. So like you can see where it's more orange is where the hair is thinner. So it doesn't do a good job of filling in when it's not the right color. Which is just my fault for not knowing what color my eyebrows are. And I believe this pencil was supposed to be like a dupe of the Anastasia one, just because it's cheaper and probably does the same thing, but it does have a really thin pencil tip, which is good for just like flicking and making like those natural hair shapes. However, it is just a bit too orange from what I'm used to. Right, next I'm gonna go and use this contour palette. This is the contour palette from in the Dulce de Leche, and it's from Wet n Wild. Let's see if I can open it. This is not opening. It's really not opening. Got it! I got it. Okay. So it's supposed to be like, this is where you like would powder for like the highlight, and this is where you would powder for contour. Although I think this one might be, again, too dark, so I'm just gonna try to like mix them together and just try to do a contour bronzer thing. It is a pretty big palette. I wish it did have a mirror. That would make it a lot easier to just apply, but ooh, that's a lot of fallout. So I think I went in a little too hard with my brush, and that's why there was a lot of fallout. But otherwise, it's applying pretty nicely. And it is a good shade for me. So it's like a little bit darker, so you can see that it's actually like contouring, but it's not like too dark that it looks like straight up dirt on my face. I hate contouring my forehead because it just ends up looking like I have a really bad sunburn or like, I don't know, just an uneven tan. But that's probably just because I don't know how to apply it. So nothing on the product itself, it's all on me. So I actually really do like this palette. I think it's a very soft formula, and it's like really easy to blend. So like if it was too dark, I could easily like blend it out or use the lighter shade to blend it out. So I really do like it. It's a big, you get a lot of product. So I don't know, I really like it. It's a good contour palette. It might be my new go-to. All right, next is blush. And I did get this Cheek Heat from Maybelline. I got it in the shade Coral Ember. So it's probably gonna be really, really pink, but we're gonna test it out. It says is that it creates a sheer flush of color, natural looking dewy finish, lightweight, breathable feel, water-based formula, and oil-free. Why is it so hard to open? I'm struggling today. So that's the color. And again, I'm using like a little bit just because I am scared. I'm just gonna like, ooh, that's kind of a lot, I feel, I don't know. I'm just gonna kind of go like back and forth. Ooh, that's very sheer. Okay, so yeah, it is a very sheer product. So just that little amount probably would have been fine on one cheek, but again, you never know how pigmented things are, or I never know how pigmented things are, so I'm always so scared. Not a lot of product in this squeeze tube either. It does go on like really smooth, like it does, like you can tell that it's like a water-based formula. And now I'm just taking off all of my makeup. So I don't really like that. Okay, so it's not like really all that pigmented when you first put it down, so you gotta keep like layering it until you get the desired effect and color that you want. I usually don't use like a cream or liquid blush. I usually just use the powder ones. So again, it's just like a formula I'm not used to, so it's probably just me not applying it correctly. But it does kind of show up a little bit. Again, I'm kind of scared to like make it go any darker. I don't know, it felt really nice on the skin. I just would have maybe not used my finger. I don't know if it was just the foundation's fault for like being not smudge proof or what, but both of the products just didn't really lay down that well. So again, I did not see any eyeshadow palettes that people recommended. I did see that there was like that trend to say like your newest palette, your most expensive palette, the one you use the most, when you use the least. So I just went in with my favorite palette, which is the Thirsty palette. I just kind of made like a really natural, like barely even there look. And so now the next product I'm going to go in with is some white eyeliner, and I'm just going to place that on the bottom line. So I don't normally wear any eyeliner, so that's why I don't have like an actual eyeliner for the top. But this one is the NYX white liquid liner. That was just what was recommended, so I'm going to go with it. I really don't like using eyeliner on my bottom waterline, and especially like liquid, but we're going to see how it works. Hopefully something happens. This is really nice tip, very pointy. So I do like the formula of this. I do think that I probably should have gone in with like a pencil on the bottom line, but everyone was saying the liquid one, so that's what I went with. Next I'll go in with the mascara, and this is just the It Cosmetics Superhero Mascara. It's supposed to be like super lengthening and like volumizing. A lot of people have recommended it. Actually, I have another product. This is the CoverGirl Lash Blast Amplify Primer. So I don't usually use primer for mascara, but this one Tik Tok did recommend, and it did say that it was lengthening and just like a really good primer. I don't really understand what the point of a primer is for eyelashes, but we're gonna put it on. And then while that dries, I'm going to be using some setting spray. This is the Jeffree Star and Morphe Set and Refresh Mist. It's supposed to be in Starberry scent, so it is supposed to be scented. I'm going to try that out before I put my mascara on. It's supposed to be a continuous spray, and it's supposed to smell really nice. Ooh, that is very berry smell. It kind of smells like, I don't know, like when I was little and like Barbies were scented and they were supposed to smell like berry, like that's like, it smells like plastic that was scented to be strawberry. I'm not trying to be rude or anything. It was just, that's just what it reminded me of. All right, now going in with the mascara. There's quite a bit of product on the applicator. So I have used this before, and I really do think that the primer like lengthened it a bit more and may just made it like longer and thinner, which I like. So this is a really good mascara, and it is like really darkening and thick and all that, but I just don't like it because it is pretty clumpy, and I just really don't like clumpy mascaras. I like it to be more thin and like natural wispy rather than thick and spider legs. I don't know. Okay, so next I have 3 lip products here. I have a NYX matte lip liner, and then I have one of these Colourpop Lippie sticks in the shade Happy Thoughts. So I did my best to try to match them. I think that's pretty much too red for that, but we're gonna test it out. And then I also have this Almay Goddess Gloss, which I just heard again on TikTok was like really, really good. I'm just gonna line the lips. So it is a pencil liner. I like the crayon liners better. And this is also like the color of the tip does not match the end here. We're gonna test it anyway. It is Colourpop, which is like a very popular favorite. So I think it looks nice. The Lippie is not my favorite. I do like a more like creamy feel. It wasn't that great to apply. So next I'll go in with the lip gloss. Okay, so it does have a doe foot applicator, which is nice. I do like those. I think that they help apply the product a bit better. I didn't put too much gloss down, but I do like the formula. It still is pink, which matches like the color I already had on. It does have a little bit of a smell to it, but it's not like a bad smell. It's kind of like a makeup-y coffee smell. I don't know. It has like a little bit of scent. I didn't smell it too closely, so I don't really have like greater detail than that. But that is the overall look. I'll have the products listed down below in the description along with their prices, or what I could find for their prices. I may not have the receipt. That is the full face of TikTok recommended, TikTok faves, all that fun stuff. That's all I have for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, hi guys, that's what I say. I do wish, so it is pretty of a, you get a lot of product.